Wanted to make a quick video. A lot of people have a lot of questions about this setup. So this is a three-phase panel. This will be phase 1 hot wire, phase 2 hot wire, phase 3 hot wire. This lug is, as you can see, the green bolt right there. This lug is for grounding, and this over here is also ground. And some people, I believe, I don't know if I'm going to get the terminology correct, I'm not an electrician, but it's bonding, where they will bond the ground in with the neutral. As you can see, this neutral bar is a bonding bar going over to this neutral bar over here. And some people bond the neutral bar over to the grounding block. From a lot of the videos that I've read and trying to understand the best that I can, is that if it's your primary box, you shouldn't bond it. And then if you have a secondary box that's being fed from this box, then you can bond them. I might have that backwards, but in all of my research, it really was sort of irrelevant. Some electricians say do it, some say don't. So now let's talk about this three-phase box. This lug right here powers this row. The second lug will power this, and the third hot line will power this. And then it repeats itself again. First phase, second phase, and these would hook up to the third phase. So in all reality, right now, the only thing that's hooked into the third phase lug, which as you can see there's no power going to it because I currently have mine set up in split phase, is this. This is a three-phase military heating and air conditioning unit, not my big generator 130,000 ACU or 130,000 BTU AC unit. This is a smaller, I think it's 38,000 BTU heating and air conditioning unit out there. But when I use that, I will run the third inverter. For people that haven't seen the other videos, the third inverter, which is this one right here, this cable coming in, and I run it in right into this, no, the second one right here. Sorry for the camera shaking. So it goes into this one. Now this, remember, this is phase 1, this is phase 2. So this wire being ran into this breaker is identical to me running this wire and putting it right here on this secondary lug, phase 2 lug up here, which is what I originally did. But the problem is, getting back to why it's wired the way it is now. So Mark, I appreciate it. I know you're sort of concerned about my back feed, about to keep my lights on. I greatly appreciate it. That's why I made this videos more specifically, to try to explain more. But pretty much all of my grounds are hooked up over here to the ground, neutrals to the neutrals. I did not bond it. However, all of the grounds are going to this big Mac Daddy one out here, which feeds into the ground outside. And then every single one of the grounds, the AC, well, it would be like your utility power that's coming in from the generator out there, but every single one of these 3 lines are going back to the main generator, which is also grounded. So getting back into this, when I run it in 3-phase, this wire right here, which is now going into the second phase lug just through the breakers, I just disconnect it, connect it up here to this one, change this inverter right here. As you can go in, it's very easy. You can go in, I think number 23, if I remember right. Let me just go in, see if I can get the number 23 real quick. Oh, they have to be turned off actually to get to that setting. Here, you know what, let me turn it off. So if I turn it off, I can come back here, get to setting 23. Now see, that's saying PAL. It's in parallel with this one right now. So, but I can clearly just click on here and move it over to that single. 2P2 is a split phase. And then you have 3P3. That would be the third phase of a 3-phase setup, the second phase of a 3-phase setup, and the first phase of a 3-phase setup. Let me turn this back to parallel, so just escape out of there, get it where it was. Okay, I can turn that back on. So currently right now, you know, there's a lot of people that keep saying, hey, you have 120 and 240. Along with how easy it is to go up here and set these inverters up into whatever position you want, 1 phase, 2 phase, 3 phase, and as easy as it is to do that, I can also go in there and tell it what voltage I want it to be. If I want it to be 120 and 240, or if I want it to be 208. So I have mine hooked up to where if going line to line, it will be 208, not 240. And I think where it boils down, maybe some people, and again, I didn't know a lot of this a year ago. I'm starting off scratch. Just tons of education, tons of YouTube videos. But when you come over here and look, let's say this hot water heater, for instance. So right here, if you do 240, it will do 4,500 watts of power. But also, see right here under it how it says voltage AC 208? That is a very common voltage in America if you're running 3-phase. So then it will tell you what the actual wattage is for the hot water heater if you're running 208. So it's not an uncommon thing to run 3-phase. I think most commercial buildings and industry is 3-phase even here in America. So I guess if you're only used to looking at residential type of electricity, I can see where that confusion comes in, where you're like, oh, you're making 240, but I'm not. So, and then I guess where the biggest confusion comes in, let's go ahead and talk about just these things. The inverter setup the way they are, I think this line confuses a lot of people in my videos. Because why would I have these lugs up here clearly are for the inputs. This was my third. If my inverters are set up in 3-phase, it goes here. And then if I turn the generator on outside, I don't have to turn any inverter off. I don't have to click any breakers. Everything comes on. It charges. All 3 inverters are putting 40 amps into it. It charges as it should. However, if these inverters are in split phase, so right now this is in line 1, 3,000 watts. This one and this one, as you can see from the menu where it said PAR, these two are in parallel. So my line 2 of my split phase is now 6,000 watts because this one and this one are connected together, and this one. So I have 3,000. So now I have 3,000 on the first lug coming in, which powers this line, the 2nd phase, 3rd phase, in this line on the breakers. And then I have 6,000 total watts available to me on this line and this line down here. The reason this is connected into this is because it's connected to the 2nd lug. I know I'm repeating myself, I apologize. But when I want to start the generator, I have the 3rd phase of the generator. These are rigged up basically into the AC input, utility power. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Well, now these two are connected because they're in parallel with each other, the way that I'm running it right now. So what happens when I try to charge the battery bank, if I need a quick 15-20 minute charge, is these two are getting different phases of electricity fed into them. It's not a big deal if they're set up on 3-phase. They're designed to be that way. But I have set them up on parallel, so now they should be accepting the same type of electricity coming into them on the same phase. So I'm pretty sure what I was saying in the other video, if I took this AC input coming here and split it, and then ran the AC input into here, then with it set up in split phase, where I could run this wire and just go ahead and put it into the 2nd lug, I wouldn't have to turn it off, disconnect it, do anything, and it would charge. However, when I go back to 3-phase, I would have to do the exact opposite. I'd have to take this off, put it back over to here, and do all that. So the easiest solution that I found was just to take this, which was my 3rd phase line, connect it into the same lug, the power's the panel right here, which is the 2nd phase, and just disconnect this. I just turn it off. So now the AC power from this inverter is no longer hitting the panel. So then when the AC from utility power / generator power hits this, it doesn't cross interfere going into the same lug as the second one. So it will charge the batteries and do everything it's supposed to do, but during that time of the generator running and this disconnected, I will no longer have 6,000 watts being fed to my, so if I turn my little mini oven, my microwave, toaster all on at the same time, it will overload my line 2 because it only has 3,000 watts going to it right now. But as soon as I turn off the generator, I can walk back over here, connect the third generator back into the lug number 2 position, and just keep rolling on. But now back to the 6,000 watts that I have. So I hope that helps. If anybody else has any questions, like I said, you know, maybe some of the people, I'll have to go in the comments and post that I made an updated video. But you know, hey, I'm doing my best. Like I said, I am no electrician. Please don't take any advice that I give as, you know, hey, that guy's told me so. I would definitely not do that if I was you. But I can tell you what I got going on. Seems to be working well. You know, for all of the people that say, you know, I think somebody commented, I love all these other channels. They must, I'm getting into a little bit of that myself. You can't please everybody types. You know, oh, wait, that's a big battery bank. You Americans, you use a ton of electricity. Listen, I'm pretty conscious. Me and my wife are pretty well aware. We never even really turn on this hot water heater. This is the hot water heater, which is feeding in from one of these lugs and one of these lugs, this line and this line here. So both of these equal the hot water heater, phase 1, phase 2. And we turn that on if we want to get a shower that night. You know, if we don't go out there and get really dirty, we don't get a shower every single night. We did, living in the big suburban life we used to have, but we don't now. So, pretty much, from coming from my military terminology, you can go pound sand if you think, if you don't like my setup. I'm doing my setup and posting reviews for people that want to learn and educate themselves off of somebody that is learning and educating himself as well. Hey, there you go. That's what I have for you right there, just in case you don't like my setup. So, getting back to this, the little bus bars. These are little tiny ones. There's another one down there. I think I got the 200 amp switch down there. I definitely need to be able to disconnect my panels going into these. Like I said, we're building almost, I don't know, halfway done with building a cabin over there. And everything's going to be set up much better. This was a learning experience for me, to say the least. But I think I got it all figured out now. So, for my very first setup, for throwing it together, originally buying 4 batteries and buying one of those and hoping for the best, I think I've done pretty good. And, by the way, for anybody that's interested, these are like, what are these things on there for? Because I took them off in my last video. These screens are super bright at night. And, unfortunately, I lay right there. So, yes, I understand the off-gassing. I greatly appreciate everybody's advice. This was not a long-term solution. This was a quick solution. So, they will be gone, I don't know, maybe a month. This setup won't be here anymore. But, that's where we're at. Thanks, everybody, for the advice. And I know a lot of people are saying, get those out of your living area. And I'm very well aware of that. I appreciate it. I know you're trying to look after me. Hopefully, for everybody that had the questions about the inverter, or not the inverter, the breaker box, hopefully I did good explaining that. I might not have. I think a lot of the people asking the questions, I think we're unaware of maybe the inverters and the capabilities of the inverters, where you can, let's go look through this book. By the way, when all else fails, read the instructions. A lot of people don't. See that? Look for the stars before making any changes, because I read all the way through this, and there were some things that were really important that it said. Where is one of them? Oh, so this was how much your solar panels can hold. 4,500 watt per array. I got a lot more wattage in solar panels and stuff, so let's see here. Okay, so appliance mode, generator. Trying to see where it shows the different voltages. If you want 208, I mean, they're pretty impressive. You can change all your values, your float charging values, different. Let's see. Here we go, right here. Here's 23 that I was talking to you about. Let's see. My phone. Bear with me. I don't know if that's going to show up in the video or not. My screen went really dim. It said 5% battery. So let me plug my phone back in. All right. So here is position 23. So you've set the first one, 3P1, 3P2, 3P3, you know, and it'll give you the different lines for the different phases. If you want to set up split phase on 23, you can go 2P0, 2P1, 2P2, and the reason why you would do that is, so right here, if you put the first one in 2P1 and then the other one in 2P2, you can get, you know, so you can set it up as 120 and 208, and then you can also set it up in 120 and 240, depending on what settings you do. So, you know, there's so much things that you can do with these inverters that I think that might be some of the confusion. Somebody's like, no, if you got two inverters, they're just going to be 240. Maybe so, with the equipment that you have. I don't really know. But on these, you can sort of set them where you want them. So, well, that's it. That's my update. I'm going to keep posting these videos. It seems like I have a lot of interest in the battery bank setup that I have. It seems to be working very well. You know, I pretty much at the beginning only had these set up. First we got one, then we had two, but they were still, I was still learning about electricity and learning about all that, so they were just a single phase and another phase. And then because of the military equipment that I had, we got another one do 3-phase, and I never really set them up in parallel. It was just all individual phases. So, you know, now we ended up, because really when it boils down to it, folks, even though you can set these up in split phase, you don't really have to. You know, you can set, I mean, I'm sure if there's some equipment, some sensitive 240 volt equipment that you're running, but I talked to my good family friend that's an electrician, and for instance, if these inverters were set up on just single, and it was powering lug 1, and a second inverter was not set up on split phase, it was still its own, doing its own electricity on single phase, and then I put 2 hot wires in, let's say going to the hot water heater. The hot water heater is not advanced enough to really know if the phases are matching. According to him, if you just run 2 hot lines over there, it's still going to heat up your water. So instead of setting them up on split phase, I just left it single and single and did that. So now I've actually took the time to get in here and set these 2 up as parallel and then put them up in split phase with this one. So it's done correctly now, but I never had any problems with it even the other way I was doing it, to where, you know, they were just individually running into this. And somebody, there might be knowledgeable people right back, yes, but that cost you some percentage of power, that it would have been more efficient doing that. Okay, I'm not quite there yet on my education of electrical stuff. I'm just happy that the lights and, and the refrigerator come on. So hopefully I do get to that point. I'm going to keep this journey up, keep trying to educate myself, and share what I learned with others that are interested in doing it. And just in case you guys don't get to the other videos, this started off as just, I wanted to keep the lights on, and then it grew and grew and grew. Yes, I do plan on getting, I don't know if I'm going to go with a bigger inverter now. I sort of like the fact that these can be redundant, and I can, if one of these fails, just like me right here, I can go in here and turn this one off, and all of my second phase stuff still works because it was hooked into this one. Now, I can tell you one of the problems that I did have, let me turn this one back on before I forget. One of the problems that does happen is if these are set up in 3-phase and one of them, for whatever reason, needs to shut down, reboot, if you power that one, the first one up, power the second one up, and it's more than like 30 seconds, I don't know why it would take that, but before you power the third one up, you'll pop error codes. Like, they need all 3 to be up and running for it to be 3-phase, or it'll throw an error code. But if you have them hooked up in parallel, let's say inverter 2 and 3 here are in parallel, and one of them goes off, It doesn't throw error codes. It doesn't have a problem. It just reduces your wattage at your box, which is really good. So that's something else I've learned. Now, I don't know if it'll throw an error code. Oh, let's just go ahead and do it. By the way, you can turn these LCD lights where they're off at the night to save power. I guess I'm lazy. I didn't do it. So let's run a test here together. Okay, split phase. Okay, that one's off. No error codes yet. Let's turn this one off and see if that one throws an error code saying the second phase is down. Nope. So with these two being off, I could turn on my hot water breaker, but it's only going to get the voltage from line 1. Flip that one from this one. This one's dead. So everything on these are dead now. Oh shit, my wife's gonna bitch. All the microwave and the coffee maker timer I just killed. Oh well, anyway. So no error codes on that. So it seems like the only time you'll get error codes on the inverters is when they're in 3-phase and one of the lines go down. But anyway, that's my update. I actually wanted to make a quick, short video to show this box, but there's so much to talk about that I think we're about 21 minutes. But hopefully that answered a lot of people's questions, and good luck for anybody that's out there setting up their own power systems and solar. And if I can help you, that's one of the benefits about being a small channel. You know, I try to reply to every single comment that is written. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. We're trying to do some video editing, and yet right now it's just we've been posting random videos of stuff we do, but we're trying to learn some video software editing and actually post some more, I don't want to say professional, but a little more edited and a little more upgraded videos. So if you'd like to go through this journey with us, we'd appreciate a like and subscribe. And even if you're not interested, we'd appreciate a like. You can turn off notifications if you want, but to help us grow our channel, it would be greatly appreciated. All right, enjoy your day.